What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Idea Studio. I'm Dana.
I'm Chip.
And today we have a kind of a fun trip plan. We are going to Wat Mahabut. What?
Say the name. Say it. Say it.
I can't. You say it.
Say it. What?
Wat Mahabut. Wat Pee Mak.
Well, it's Wat Mahabut.
Wat Mahabut. If you guys have ever seen the movie Pee Mak, which is a very popular Thai sort of comedy horror, like scary movie from 2013, it takes place at this temple. And it's actually based on a very famous Thai ghost story, right?
Based on, Thai girl story. Like, when you were young, you will hear, like, granny will tell you about this this storyline, like a
Pee Mak
big time story.
Pee Mak and Mae Nak.
Correct.
If you've ever seen Thai movies, most Thai movies are pretty bad. Would you agree?
I would say not make lots of money. That's it.
Most of them are not good, except for Thai movies do suspense thriller movies really well. They do horror movies really well, and anything to do with ghosts really well.
Shutter.
Yeah, Shutter was originally a Thai movie, right? And it was kind of bought by Hollywood. But also, I would say the best Thai thriller suspense movie ever is Countdown, which our friend David is in. So we might be a little biased, but I really do believe that is the best Thai thriller movie ever. I would say the best Thai horror movie ever is The Promise, which is phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on Netflix. And Pee Mak is probably the best comedy horror movie that Thailand has ever made. And if you guys want to watch these, a lot of them are on Thai Netflix. And if you're in the US or in Europe, you'll need a VPN. And I will leave a link to a VPN down below that you guys can get. I use NordVPN. If you use that link, it does help out the channel. So definitely check that out. So we're going to go to this temple today. It's a bit of a commercial temple in a few senses because it's very popular because of all the movies. Pee Mak's not the only movie about this story. There's like 4 or 5.
So one that I remember older than that, like when it was in like bachelor degree.
20 years ago? Yeah, 20 years ago.
Oh shit, yeah, it's 20 years.
We were undergrads 20 years ago. Oh my God.
Oh my. Don't say the number.
All right, with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the trailer of the movie, and I hope you enjoy the tour of the Wat. We'll see you there. All right, guys, here we are at the temple for the day, and the first place you arrive at is the crematorium. This is right in the center of the entrance and kind of is the first thing that you see as you walk in. You can see a Quonset hut and another temple under construction right there in front, and we couldn't go in this one that was under construction, but it's got some beautiful artwork done on the walls, really gorgeous. And I was checking out some of the tiles here that will go up on the building, very ornate, beautiful glazing. Now you might see something off to the left, the Hulk. Now what would be a temple without a Hulk? And actually Thailand is really well known for these larger than life movie depictions. You see these all over the place. They're really well done. Now this part of the hall is a real mishmash of different sort of Southeast Asian religious symbols, some Santa Claus chairs here. Jib was not too happy with this part of the temple for sure. We have a Thai Buddha here, a Thai Buddha depiction, and then you can see some people rubbing the gong over here, and then we have some Thai zodiac, which are very similar to the Chinese zodiac, almost identical even. Now the idea with all these is that you would drop a little bit of money in, 20 baht, into the bowl or into the pot, and you could make a prayer or a wish for your birthday. Now here are some depictions of the Buddha, and apparently all except that little one with the baby with the finger up in the air are representations of Thai Buddhas. That one is just an artist depiction apparently. Now here's another one of the little buildings that is on the outskirts of the temple, and you can see there's a Buddha statue inside, people go in there and pray. This sort of animatronic skeleton whying and praying with an actual skeleton, and there's a body or real or fake skeleton in the glass coffin there. People were coming and praying to this. This is one of the prayer rooms in the temple that you would come to if you were having like a ceremony. And here is a little cemetery. These are all little graves in this temple. In the middle is where they have the gong. The monks will go up and ring that at certain times of the day. I thought this was a nice little quiet area. This is one of the more well-maintained areas of the temple, obviously because it's a cemetery. And this nice little path here walked down to the river, and it was just sort of on the outskirts, so there weren't a ton of people here. We did, however, make friends with this little cat that we met right here at the edge of the river. Cute little kind of calm cat hanging out, and right away her and Jib became fast friends. Jib will essentially pet any animal that's nice enough to walk up to her. This was an interesting view of the river. You can see where it actually splits into two, and there's some houses built up sort of on that split here. And from what I could tell, a lot of people who work at the temple maybe live in these houses, and this is their commute on these little boats back and forth every day. There's a little walkway that goes all the way down past the temple on this side of the river, and just so many pigeons though up on the power lines and everywhere along this river. I'd be afraid to walk just because you know you get pooped on. Now bringing us back to the main part of the temple, this sign says Mae Nak. This is the woman from that love story, that ghost story, and this is a depiction of her. And I saw a lot of people coming and praying and leaving these red Fanta drinks as an offering to Mae Nak. If you remember from the first part of the story, Mae Nak is actually the wife of Pee Mak, who is the main character of that movie, but she's really the main character of the love story. And so people come here and they pray to her to find true love. Apparently this is considered a lucky tree, so people come here and they'll rub it to try to get lucky numbers. And of course, if you're getting lucky numbers, you're going to see lottery tickets and people selling lottery tickets right in the temple after you get your lucky numbers from the tree. Now, of course, if you have lucky numbers and all of that, you're going to have fortune tellers. That's a big part of culture in Thailand for a lot of people, a lot like the US. And so there's this whole section of fortune tellers right in the temple grounds. You can see a lot of these shops here. And one of the ones down here, I thought this was really cool. It was well decorated. Apparently, this is one of the more popular ones to go to. What's going on, guys? We want to just break in for a minute to the video and talk about a few of the things that we saw and just kind of be real about like what was going on, because we also didn't feel comfortable to film everything that we saw. The first thing has to do with sort of animal, on the verge of saying animal abuse, right? And there was a sign that said, do not sell or release animals in the temple for a possible fine of 40,000 baht. However, within 1 meter of that sign, there were people selling birds, fish, and turtles to be released into the river. Jib, why do they do this? Why is that a popular thing at temples?
Well, like I think it's because of our belief.
What is that?
So one of the simple rules for Buddhists is like do not kill. So what is help for do not kill? They just release, right? Originally we will go to market, pick the lucky fish. Like, oh, you're not gonna be someone dinner tonight.
And you just release it from the market.
Yeah, like pick it from the market and like go to like your neighborhood canal, like it's smaller than river, because some fish is like, if you know ecology, you have to pick the right environment for any type of animals, right?
So that's the other thing. We saw turtles that are not native to Thailand being sold for release in the market.
Yeah.
The other thing that is worrisome about this is a lot of these temples on the river will sell fish food or bread, and you can go off on the dock or next to the river and throw food into the river, and the fish will come in and eat all the food. And I've seen this before at Thai temples where people do it, and there's just a school of fish. They come, they eat everything, and they go off on their way. There were so many people throwing food and bread into this river. The fish weren't even eating it. They were just swimming past it.
Yes, it's like always full, and like it's made water dirty more.
So yeah, all that food just settles to the bottom and decomposes or floats somewhere else. And that brings us to the third thing, that was because this temple is so commercial, there was a lot of trash. I actually have a video of a guy from one of the food stalls walking and throwing his wastewater into the river. And we saw just tons of stuff floating in the river, plastic bottles, packs of cigarettes, and on the side of the temple, they just had bags and bags and bags of plastic bottles. Now, I don't think those are all going to end up in the river because those are recyclable, right? There's value there in the Thai market for that. But it's just the amount of waste that's being produced is kind of staggering from these types of places. And it's just one of the things I want to talk about. That in itself, not a negative or a positive, right? Because we don't know how they deal with the waste. It's just that, well, we know that the guy was throwing water into the river that he shouldn't have, but as far as like the plastic bottles, we don't know how they're being dealt with. There was an abnormally large amount of them there, and I thought that was a little worrisome to me.
So like from my experience with that big bag of empty bottles, they just like sell to
recycle.
Like a dumpster or a company that like recycle.
Yeah, like I don't think those are gonna end up in the river. It's just that they were stored right on the edge of the river, and
Maybe wait too long.
Yeah, it's just a glimpse into the amount of waste that is there. Yeah. Well, that was it, guys. I just wanted to put that in there, include some of the clips, and just talk about all the things that maybe you don't see in every video, that the downsides of this large commercial scale of religion, I guess we'll call it. Anything else to add, Ben?
Well, maybe next time I will take you to like a nice and calm temple, and you will learn more about Buddhism. Like a nice way.
Well, maybe we'll visit a more local temple, maybe not as famous.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, guys, thank you for checking out the video. Appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the temple. If you have any questions, leave it down below. If you feel so inclined, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. That gives the YouTube algorithm a little nudgy nudge. And until next time, keep taking action. Make your ideas reality.